Oh, hey, welcome back. It's been about a year since I recorded my last video on skills and old school retro Dungeons and Dragons. I've still kept playing. A lot of us, the players especially, wanted to switch to 5e, so I ran 5e for a while. It's fine. It's basically a smorgasbord of options for the players. Great. One thing I did notice though is combat takes forever. So many options. So it kind of left me pining for the old school. So I started another campaign, and I just want to show everybody sort of the evolution of my 2d6 system and some other innovations I've come up with for old school retro Dungeons and Dragons. So with that, let's get into it, shall we? So first of all, even if you're playing old school, you should still have a system for feats. Now, I've devised an ingenious trap here. I call this the rope bridge trap. So what happens? The players are out in the wilderness. They come across a rope bridge. It's about 50 feet across. The chasm is about 40 feet down. Water, 5 to 10 feet deep, flowing fairly rapidly. Now, they could go around, but that's going to add hours to their travel time. So, how do they do it? Well, if I know my players, the archer, who's in the middle there, will likely draw his bow, knock an arrow, get ready, because they'll be expecting somebody to appear on the other side and slash the ropes. The blonde elf on the left may look out behind them for possible ambush, keep her eyes open. The wizard on the right will probably prepare a magic missile, so if anybody appears, he'll let them have it, right? So, meanwhile, the drow paladin, yes, I have a drow paladin in my game, will go across the bridge carefully, and I'll inform her, because she's wearing leather armor, and the hand ropes seem quite secure, quite good. If you use those and travel at half your movement rate, there will be no check required. So she moves 15 feet, no check, everything's fine, everything's good. Then she moves another 15 feet. So she's more or less in the middle, keeping a close watch. No feet roll required at this point. All right, so far so good. Everybody's looking out, around. Another 15 feet, she's almost across. And finally the last 15 feet, and she's made it. Very good. All right, so what happens next? Well, you basically got two long-range people still on the southern side. That's the wizard with the magic missile and the archer. So let's say we let basically the elvish druid go across. So she starts off, and again, she's careful as well. So she moves her first 15 feet using the rope guides. Okay, everything's good, everybody's looking, nothing happens. Next 15 feet. Now here's where it gets interesting. What the players don't know is that goblins on the north side have soaked the ropes with flammable oils, especially on the underside, and they're preparing pitch arrows, which they're lighting. And once the second character reaches the halfway point, they won't be firing at her. They'll be firing at the ropes to try and catch them on fire. So, let's say there's 4 archers, I roll. Maybe they don't hit, but then what happens? Because the drow on the other side knows there's 4 archers, so maybe she goes after them. But again, they're a pretty good distance away. She's not going to hit them this round. What about the character in the middle? Does she join the drow, or does she retreat backwards? Here's where feats come in. Now, I said as long as you're moving at half your normal movement rate, there's no roll required. If you're moving at your full movement rate, a roll is required. So if she takes the gamble and wants to make a DC check of, let's say, 7 on 2d6, she can move her full movement rate because she's basically wearing leather armor, not really encumbered. But if the goblins manage to hit the ropes on their first attack, so they're flaming, that DC jumps up to 9. So all of a sudden, it's like, if you move half your rate, it's a DC 7 check. Because you're avoiding the flames, you're not using the rope guides, you're just picking your way between the planks, but you still need that DC 7 on 2d6 to move 15 feet. If you're going to try and make the full distance, DC 9. If you don't make it, you're going to fall through and become stuck and possibly fall as well. And which way does she go? Does she go backwards or forwards? Which way do the two characters on the other side go? Do they try and cross the bridge? Or do they just stay there and hope that they'll be able to get off shots? This is the challenge. And how long does the rope bridge last? It's only going to be a number of rounds before these ropes start to give way from the flames. So this is the conundrum. You've basically split the party here. On the north side, there will be an attack by goblins. On the south side, maybe yes, they can engage in some long-range fire, but you've really isolated two of the party members. So it's kind of a fun thing, and this is where feats and skill checks come in handy. Oh, by the way, the image itself is from 2 Minute Tabletop. I'll put the link below for the map. I paid, I think, $1 for that image. And the grid system and the tokens, I'm using Owlbear Rodeo. Again, I'll put that link below as well. Owlbear Rodeo is free. It's wonderful for any online digital D&D sessions you might have. Whenever you need a grid map to move characters around for battle tactics. Fantastic. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I just wanted to show you why you may want to use feats in the old school D&D, even if you set an arbitrary number on a D20, that's fine. But I personally like my D6 system, and it'll work well. So I can't wait to spring this on my players. We'll see what happens. I think they're all basically second, third level right now, so a handful of goblins normally wouldn't be a challenge, but in this scenario, this is going to be fun. Next video, I'll discuss, come up with a point-buy system, one of my players and I, for old school. It's kind of interesting. So those people used to 5th edition, know the point-buy for determining attribute scores, and so we've come up with one, and I'm really quite pleased with it. It's basically like an Excel spreadsheet. I've pasted it over, or I put it over on Google Docs. I'll make it available to people, but I'll talk more about that on the next video. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.